So, yeah. Let's go over the basics. Starting over. So what's the magic trigonometry word? SOHCAHTOA. So you need to know how to spell it. You might put this at the top. And then you need to know what each letter stands for. What does SOH stand for?
Sine.
Okay, sine of the angle. This is the part that a lot of people forget. Equals opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, maybe I should just use one letter for that. And then TOA. Alright, and so I don't have a trick for this, but we also need to know like the reciprocal functions. So what is sine upside down? What was that called? Cosecant. CSC. So cosecant of the angle equals hypotenuse over opposite. Cosine goes with secant. And then tangent goes with cotangent. So you have to have all this memorized for the test. Now, this is just SOHCAHTOA. So this is just those upside down. So really, I feel like cotangent's kind of a gimme because it goes with tangent. So really it's just these two. You have to make sure you get somehow. Back when I was your age, I remembered it because cosine to me sounded like it should go with cosecant, but it doesn't. So I just remember these two are backwards. Anyway, but cotangent does go with tangent.
And why'd they do that?
There is a reason. I kind of forgot what it was. These two are related. These two are kind of related somehow. Like secant goes with cosecant. Co means like with, and sine goes with cosine. These are alike, and these are alike, and these two are alike. Graphically, I guess you could say, think of it like that.
That's just more complex.
Like, you know when we graph these two, how they're almost identical? It's kind of, I think it's kind of like that. Okay, anyways. So, if you need it, you might put those up in your notes, because we're going to need all that stuff today. Number 1. State 3 basic trig ratios for each acute angle. How many acute angles does a right triangle have? 2. It's got one right angle and 2 acute angles. And they're called, on this one it's called angle A and B. So the 3 basic are sine, cosine, and tangent.
Do you want us to copy it?
This?
It says
No.
okay.
This, yes, this is the answer. Why would you have to write the
Well, it
triangle
says
down?
copy the triangles, and then I don't want the same side thing.
Are you on the right page?
What?
Oh, I'm not. It looks exactly the same, I swear. I can't swear. What? Go away. I don't want to talk to you. Get out of here. It's gone. It's out forever.
Okay, well, psychic, that's how she knew. Okay, what is this triangle missing that we're going to need? Hypotenuse, and how do we find that? Right. Pythagorean theorem. 6 squared plus 2 squared is 40. So that c squared equals 40, so that's square root of 40. Okay, so basically 4 has a square root of 2, so it's 2 squared 2. 10 does not have a square root. Alright, I think most of you guys just use your calculator for that, that's fine, whatever. Sine of A equals opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite of angle A is 2, hypotenuse is 2 squared root of 10. Now, whoops. The 2's in this case will cancel out, but we can't leave the square root of 10 on the bottom, so we multiply top and bottom by square root of 10, and we get square root of 10 over 10. Square root of 10 times square root of 10 is 10. 1 times square root of 10 is square root of 10. Okay, cosine, what would that give me? Right, adjacent 6 over 2 square root of 10. It's almost the same, 6 and 2 reduced to 3, so when you multiply by square root of 10, you're going to get 3 square root of 10 over 10. And tangent is opposite over adjacent 6. 2 over 6 reduces to... Alright, there was a way we can cheat on this. Do you guys remember the fast forward way?
Is it
Some of them are
the cosine goes?
Yeah. Now if you're not sure, just do the whole thing. Just do what's sine would be that over that. What's cosine would be that over that. But yeah, the pattern is cosine of B is going to be like the same as sine of A. Cosine of A is going to be the same as sine of B. Remember how we did tangent? It flips, yeah. Okay, if you don't remember that trick, just do the process over with, you know. You'll probably remember after you figure out the first answer though, because oh yeah, that goes the same. Okay, so 1/3 flipped is 3 over 1. Okay, that, by the way, that does not work if, sometimes they ask us like, what's cosecant of A? That's different than sine of B. What would cosecant of A be? It would be this upside down. Okay, that's different. Okay. Floating away, are we good? All right.
So is this gonna be Wednesday?
No, probably. It's probably gonna be 3 days. I don't know how I'm gonna do it with the other class because we had like 5 minutes in the other class. Did not get anything done.
Beat them up. That's a good. No, are you sure? I thought it was a joke. I don't even know who to go to that. Hey, you can or not. What? You can or not.
I'm joking. Okay. Kind of the same directions on 3, except for they give us the angle instead of the sides. So K, N, M. Okay, well, let's start with this. If this is 43 degrees, what's that going to be? How do I find that? Shh, yeah. The 3 angles add up to 180, so 180 minus 90 is 90. 90 minus 43, that leaves 47. So they kind of do ask the same question, like what's sine of K, what's cosine of K, but we actually know what K is this time. So I'm going to just go ahead and say what's sine of 47. So these are what's cosine of 47, what's tangent of 47, and then what's sine of 43. Okay, so this time we don't know the sides, but since we do know the angle, we can actually plug it in the calculator. Guess what place they're going to ask us to round it to? 10 thousandths, remember the 4th decimal place? We did a lot of those. It's been a while, I guess. This might have been like 3 weeks ago when we did this chapter, or this part of the chapter. Oh, you know what I could do? Maybe we could on Thursday have a quiz over just the right triangle part. And then we do a test on Tuesday. Or not Tuesday, Wednesday.
Wait, this program.
You object?
About that, do you mute?
What?
I'm sorry. Do you mute?
I guess not. Okay, now, has anybody plugged in cosine or sine of 47? Let's see, it says point Now make sure you round these correctly, because that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. 0.7314 is that we got? I think I looked at the right place. I do take points off for incorrect rounding. Okay, but if this is 0.7314, what else do we know? This one, yeah. So, and then cosine of 47 is, what is it? K 0.6820. Why would they put the 0 right there?
Because nothing
Well, why don't they just leave it blank? To show how accurate they're being.
there.
Because if you show that that's a 0, you're showing that you're rounding out to that place. Alright, and tan 47. Let's see, tangent of K. Oh, shoot, they said the 6 trig ratios.
It's okay, we don't have to do that.
Yeah, we can do it.
Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and do it. Okay, what went with sine? What was the cosecant? Okay, what went with cosine? Secant. Gosh, yeah, that's a big problem. It's big but easy, right? What went with tangent? Cot.
Do we have to do the
Yep.
right, the right side?
Yep. Alright, and then cosecant of 43, secant 43, and cotangent 43. Alright, this problem alone, how much is that gonna be worth? 6, I guess? That's a lot, and that's just the odd. This assignment will be like your semester grade, basically.
Wait, let's if you don't do you log?
Okay, so, do you mind plug in tangent 47? Probably not. See if I can find it. 1.0724. Is it 1.0724 on you? Okay.
She got that.
Now, is there a trick to help me find out what tangent of 43 is, if tangent of 47 is that? Kind of. You could do 1 divided by this, like flip it upside down. But it's probably just easier to go ahead and plug in tangent of 43. 0.9, what was it?
0.9326.
Okay. Alright, now, this is kind of why I wanted to do this. Cosecant's not in the calculator, so how do I plug that in? Yeah, 1 over sine of 47. So this would be 1 over cosine of 47. 1 over tangent of 47. So, let's see, cosecant of K. Gosh, it's hard to find. 1.3673. Do you think this is going to match something else? Yeah, this is this upside down. So it should be same as this upside down, which is this. So yeah, these two are the same, and these two are the same again. So yeah, there's more repeats down here. What is secant of 47? 1.4663. So that means this is 1.4663. cotangent of 47.9325. Okay. Again, you could do 1 divided by that, like flip it upside down to get this, but I'd probably just plug in 1 over tangent of 43. And what does that come out to? Cotangent of 0.9325. Yeah, it'd be the same as this one. Or sorry, this one. This one, my bad. Because they're both like upside down of tangent. Okay. Are we good?
Hey!
No.
This isn't up. Why-
Still rolling. Number 5.
What number are we gonna get to? It's kind of better than one.
I was thinking maybe 12, maybe 15. It'd be nice to finish this page off if I
Are
could.
you doing 12 with
No, 12's easy. It's just,
us?
well, like finish that section. Okay, number 5, sine of theta equals 20 over 29. So, the directions are state the other 5 trig ratios given this one. Okay, what is sine of theta equals 20 over 29? What does that tell us? Okay, if I drew a right triangle and I said this angle is theta, then what else do I know about this triangle? Opposite and hypotenuse, because this is sine. So the opposite is 20, the hypotenuse is 29. And how can I find the missing guy right here? Pythagorean, but it's kind of reversed, right? It'd be 29 squared minus 20 squared equals that. That might be a little bit much for my, then whatever the square root of that is. 29 squared. 580 minus 180.
She did it in her head too.
He definitely needs.
It's too much.
Anya's a genius.
580 plus 180 plus 81.
Why don't you have a beer?
180 plus 81.
He's
261 plus 580. 861. That can be right. 461 is probably 441, isn't it? And the square root of that is 21.
You seriously got that in your head? That's
Well, I was a little bit off, but I knew 441 had a square root, so I thought that was probably it. I can't find it though.
21 in the book.
It's 21. Okay, now they want the other 5 trig functions for theta. So what would the other 5 be? Cosine, tangent. What goes right here?
Do you want?
What are the other 5 trig ratios besides cosecant, secant? I don't want to get it. I'll just put it down here. That's fine. Secant and cotangent. All right. So what's cosine going to be? Adjacent? Hypotenuse?
Yes.
Okay, those don't reduce. Actually, none of these reduce. But if they did reduce, we would need to, right? Always do if you can. A lot of people miss points on that. Don't work. Tangent. Opposite over adjacent. Maybe I should make you guys do this instead of just talking through it. Learning it, this is a review.
Yeah, I don't remember. That was your best friend.
All right, Eli, do you know how we're gonna get cosecant? Right, flip the sign, he said, which is correct, so it's just 29 over 20. Secant is cosine flipped. And cotangent is tangent flipped.
What are we going to
Well, kind of depends, but we'll finish the page if we can, 433, 483. We'll see how fast it goes. There's a lot of answers, but most of them don't take very long. Those are the funnest. Okay, you're doing trig with word problems, so what will all the pictures look like? Yeah, that's why I pointed and nodded.
Oh, okay.
I was pointing at the bathroom, not at you.
Wait. What?
Never mind.
Just go.
Okay.
All right.
Have you ever thought about shaving with your head bald? Like, this is a genuine question.
No, why would I do that? Maybe if I get bald enough, I will.
Because you want to crew that.
Or at least a goatee.
Because I've grown it out for like a month once. It was uncomfortable. I had those hairs would like stab you. I don't know. It's not like hairs on your head for some reason. Or mine wasn't. They were very pokey.
You sit in the front.
Okay, solve the right triangle. What does it mean, solve the right triangle?
Find out
Find missing stuff. What are we missing? Well, we're missing angle Y. We're missing side. What would I call this side? Z. Okay. The angle is capital Z. The side is little z. Angle Y. Side Y.
Can I do this problem?
Sure. You know how we'd find angle Y?
Do 16 plus, or, yeah, 16 plus 90, and then minus it from 360, which is
Subtract from 180.
Or, wait, yeah.
Yeah, and on right triangles, when you do 180 minus 90, it's always 90. So you could always just do 90 minus 16.
So 74.
Yep. Okay, and then Z. Whoops. Okay. Let's see if I can make this. All right. Olivia, any ideas how we could find side Z?
To be honest, I only know how to find Y.
Hmm?
To be honest, I could only figure out how to find Y.
The angle, you mean?
Yeah, or yeah.
Okay, so you always start with, when you're doing trig, so we didn't have to do trig to find that angle, but we do have to do trig to find these two parts. You always start with an angle. Relative to this angle, what side are we looking for? What's this side called? Is the what side of the triangle? The hypotenuse. So we need the side we're looking for, and we need a side we already know, because we can only use one variable. So what's the side that we know called if we're starting from this angle? Nope.
Oh,
Opposite. So which trig function uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. So it's sine of the angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, we can assist now. What did we do when there is a variable in the denominator here?
Wait, do you want Olivia to do it?
No, I said you can assist.
Oh. Sine 16 and Z switch places.
Right. So basically what happens is when you multiply both sides by z, that goes away. But then to get z by itself, you have to divide by sine of 16. So the sine of 16 kind of takes the place of z. So yeah, Caden said those two just switch places. So it's z equals 8 divided by sine of 16. Does that look like a z? And that's what you would plug in the calculator. And we are rounding to the tenths place now. Tenths place. Anya, did you get it?
No, I'm not saying.
29.2?
I'm not saying 0. You're actually going
Okay.
It's just 29.
She told you that after we
Alright, and then, okay, Issa, how about you help me set up for...
Whoa. I just gave an answer.
So,
No, I just did the other one.
how do I solve for y?
How do I solve for what? Okay, so, give me, give me a second, okay, tan, 74,
Okay, that's fine.
okay.
So she's using this angle. Relative to this angle, we're looking for the opposite. And we have the adjacent. And that is tan. Yeah, you can do
Y
that.
over 8.
Tan of 74 equals y over 8.
You're so smart.
Okay, now this time,
That's really, kick her out.
this time y is on the top. Hush. How do we solve this for y?
Switch them up.
No.
I don't know.
Okay, we want to get y by itself. It's being divided by 8, so we're going to multiply by 8. Okay, so 8 times 10. So those go away. Times 8 divided by 8. And then we just got y equals 8 times tangent of 74. Oh, I put it up here, didn't I? 27.9.
Oh, wait, you're here. Okay, we divorce it. Why did you want divorce? Because of her parents.
Alright, on number 9, does angle A say 30 or 60 degrees? On number 9? On number 9, does angle A say 60 degrees? Okay, does that look like a 60 degree angle? No, so that was a misprint. So why don't you
Yeah, somebody scratched that and wrote 30.
some people have already fixed it, but you need to scratch out that 60 and put a 30 if it's not already. So the triangle would be a 60, 30, 90, right? But that they meant to put 30 on the angle A. Anyways, so if angle A is 30, then what's angle C? Up here. 60 degrees. All right. Now, they weren't expecting you guys to have good calculators for this. I don't know if I should make you do it the old school way or the new way.
Use your resources.
Well, if you know the trick to a 60, 30, 90, it's actually pretty easy, but I mean, it goes faster than the calculator.
Wait, what? Oh,
Okay, do you guys know how to go from the long leg to the short leg on 30, 60, 90? Probably didn't do very much of this. Did a little last year. So this is the long leg, right? This is the short leg. How do we go from there to there?
Oh, my goodness.
Divide by square root of 3. So 9 divided by square root of 3 would get it. Now, we could also do trigonometry relative to this angle. What side are we looking for? Opposite, and we have the adjacent. So you could do tangent of 30 equals opposite over adjacent. Kind of like the one Issa just did. So you could do tangent of 30 times 9, or you could do 9 divided by square root of 3, which is 9 square root of 3 over 3, which is 3 square root of 3. I guess that would be called side A. Okay, I'll just put it up here. So that is 3 square root of 3. Alright, how do we go from the short leg to the hypotenuse on a 30, 60, 90? And the answer to that is it just doubles in size. So 3 square root of 3 times 2 is, what would that side be called? Hypotenuse is B. 3 square root of 3 times 2 is 6 square root of 3. Okay, again, you could use trigonometry to find it. You could do like cosine of 30 to help you set it up, or you could even, at that point, use Pythagorean theorem because you already know 2 sides of the triangle to find the third side. But anyway, those are the 3 answers. All right. Okay, 11, it says don't use a calculator to find this cosine of 30. So, okay, let's look again. What are the ratios of the sides on a 30, 60, 90? So, what's this side and this side? I just wrote it on the board earlier. 1 and a 2. And what's this side? Square root of 3. Okay, so on 11a it says what is cosine of 30? So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse. Yeah. Okay. Tangent of 60. So what's tangent supposed to tell us? Opposite over adjacent. So square root of 3 over 1, or square root of 3. And then C says sine of 45. Oh. Okay, you guys remember the 45, 90? The legs are the same, so it's 1 to 1, and the hypotenuse is square root of 2 times bigger. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse. Your calculator can do these. They didn't. Probably back when they wrote this book, there weren't the calculators that could do special triangles were not common. Like a normal calculator that's not too smart would spit out a decimal instead of like these square root answers. You can't leave square root of 2 on the bottom, so you multiply top and bottom by square root of 2. You get square root of 2 over 2. Alright, 11D, secant of 30. Secant is what upside down? Cosine. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, which means secant is hypotenuse over adjacent. So secant of 30. So hypotenuse is 2 and adjacent is square root of 3. So 2 over square root. It's really a upside down. But you can't leave square root of 3 on the bottom, so multiply the top by square root of 3. And multiply the bottom by square root of 3. Yeah, I would like to finish this page off. Let's do a couple of word problems. Fear no word problem. They're just gonna describe a right triangle. You gotta figure out which sides of the right triangle they're describing and like what you're looking for. On 12, they say tangent of A is 0.4639. How do we go backwards and figure out what angle A must have been? You guys remember? On 12, it says tangent of A. Uh-oh. Pause. Thought I had orange juice.
I asked you.
It was mostly charged. It was like 2/3 of the way
I was
through.
gonna be mad.
It's not good.
Oh.
I just saw one pop up.
Because I like promised. I was like,
Plus, I haven't done this in the other class, so I could just record the other class. Don't try this at home, kids.
What's your favorite ice cream?
It's none of your business. It's private.
Oh, it's definitely
Wow.
mint chocolate chip. Mint chocolate chip is the best. He definitely likes mint chocolate chip.
Just go eat toothpaste.
Okay,
I used to like.
You probably see Issa in the morning. She's like out of the tube. Toothpaste eater.
No, my mom buys me strawberry toothpaste. Strawberry? Take it from your strawberry child.
Maybe that's why you're attracted to Transformers. You've eaten too much toothpaste.
Too much strawberry. I said that once. Then it was.
Or you definitely said it more than once.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you say it once or a million times, it's still true. Okay. Kayla wants to know how high a 15-inch piece of wood will reach on a nightstand she is, I think they drew a picture of there. On a nightstand she is building if its angle of elevation is 47 degrees. So I don't know what the piece of wood is doing. Maybe it's supposed to hold it up. But there's a piece of wood holding it up. The angle of elevation is 47 degrees. What does that mean? They actually drew this picture in the book. It says she wants to know how high the piece of wood reaches. So what are we looking for? Yeah, the opposite, the height, like from there to there. How high does the piece of wood reach up on the nightstand? What else does it tell us? We need one more piece of, the piece of wood is 15 inches long. So where does the 15 go? Hypotenuse. This is the piece of wood reaching up on the nightstand. Okay. This is actually, I feel like these are easier because they're only one like basic question. You just got to set it up. So start with the angle. What side are we looking for? Opposite. And the side we already have is the hypotenuse. Which trig function uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. So it's sine of the angle should equal the opposite over the hypotenuse. Okay, back when we wrote the SOHCAHTOA stuff at the top, whoops, we had that right. Sine of the angle, 47 degrees, equals opposite x, hypotenuse 15. All right, if x is on top, how do we solve for x? How do I get rid of this guy? Multiply by 15. To get rid of a divided value, you multiply. So it's whatever sine of 47. If you plug it in like this, make sure you close that parentheses. Sine of 47 times 15. Probably still rounding to the 10th place, I guess. Use trig ratios to round links to the nearest unit. Okay, never mind. It says nearest unit, which means the ones place. So your answer could be like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, something along those lines. Okay. We did, now that I think about it, we did kind of rush this assignment because you guys were, that was the week you guys were leaving, so maybe we didn't cover this as carefully as we normally would have.
Yeah, so there's the test.
Wednesday is a long ways away.
It's gonna be there like tomorrow.
We've got to move on. We got to do something else besides this chapter. 15. A ship leaves port heading 75 degrees north of east. What do you guys think that means? 75 degrees north of east. Where's east? When we draw a map, where do we usually draw east at?
Yeah.
You guys know the compass directions?
Yeah.
North, east, south, west. In real life, it's north, east, south, west.
Hey, can you just go out and look it up, please? You can write the answer.
Canada, that way. Dewey, that way.
Put it in the calculator.
Wait, no.
Silver Lake.
Wait, yeah, south.
Okay.
Right.
If you look out towards the baseball, that's Silver Lake. Silver Lake's helping,
Near
heading this
Tulsa.
way. Yeah, Tulsa, Dewey, Nowata, Pawhuska.
You didn't write that. You didn't write it down. You should have. You like wrote exactly.
Okay,
You're so nice to her.
so if it's going 75 degrees north of east, it looks like this. 75 degrees north of east. That's the way the boat is heading. So we got that so far. The ship. The ship travels 300 miles. Where would the 300 miles go? Okay. Here's our ship. It started here, went 75 north of east. So this is where the ship's distance is. I forgot what it was already. 300 miles. Okay. And this is the heading, 75 degrees north of east. And what are we looking for? That is the question. How far east, how far north? So what would the east line be? This one, I'll call it X. What would the north line be? That one. This is how far east they went. This is how far north they went. Okay, so it's kind of like the last problem doubled. Relative to this angle, what side am I looking for here? Adjacent. And the side we already know is the hypotenuse. Which trig uses adjacent and hypotenuse? So cosine of 75 degrees should equal adjacent over hypotenuse. What am I going to plug in the calculator? Times 300, right.
Yeah, you put it in.
How do you even get the answer from
Yeah. You
this?
already
I
know.
have the answer now.
Okay. Did anybody plug that in yet? We're supposed to be rounding to the ones place.
He said, what'd you get? Did you get a minus?
That's not possible.
Yeah, it gives you like 75 square root of 6 minus 75
Yeah, that's
square
what I
root of
got.
2.
But-
I'm gonna have to make it a decimal.
Yeah, it's like the button, it'll give you a decimal.
Why would it give you a square root answer?
Yeah, I got 75 square root of 6.
Okay, just hit your SD button.
That's 77.6.
So that rounds to 70. So they went about 78 miles east. Okay, is what that means. I have no idea why the calculator spelled that out. That was a weird answer. Okay,
Oh,
now starting with the y, relative to this angle, y is the what side? Opposite, across the street. And we know the hypotenuse, so which trig function uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. Sine of the angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. It's almost the same thing, but this time it's sine of 75 times 300.
75 square root of 6 plus 75.
Okay, hit the SD button, round it to the ones place. Standard to decimal,
289.8.
which rounds to
290.
Yeah, 290 miles north.
That means it's like fun.
That,
Short auto.
oh, I was thinking we got out at 45.
Nah. This time. It's okay.
Sorry, I wasn't driving.